Okay, so if you've just finished the absolutely wild and unsettling Netflix series The Wayward, and you're kind of scratching your head wondering what you just watched, you are definitely not alone. It's one of those shows that leaves you with way more questions than answers. So in this explainer, we're going to unravel that ending, dig into the deeper themes, and figure out what was really going on in that creepy town of Tall Pines. So on the surface, Tall Pines seems like this picture-perfect little town. But it's got this one very, very strange rule. There are no children allowed. All the teenagers in town, they're shipped off to the super mysterious and exclusive Tall Pines Academy, which, you guessed it, is a boarding school holding a seriously dark secret. And right, this is the big question that just hangs over the entire series. What on earth is this place doing to these kids? The show peels back the layers of this mystery so slowly, and we're going to put all those pieces together right now. Honestly, the show is a masterclass in creating this eerie, deceptive atmosphere. This quote nails it. It peels back the glossy surface to reveal something far more disturbing. On the outside, everything looks just perfect, but you can feel it, right? Just underneath, something is deeply, deeply wrong. Okay, so to really get what happens in the end, we have to start with the dark secret at the very heart of Tall Pines, this cult and its really disturbing ideology. The whole community, it turns out, is a cult. It was created and it's led by this enigmatic woman, Evelyn Wade. And the cult's whole belief system is built on one central, super disturbing idea that childhood trauma can be controlled, removed, and ultimately weaponized. But how does a cult like this keep such an iron grip on everyone? Well, in Tall Pines, it all comes down to a single, terrifying procedure. It's called the Leap. And this is not your average graduation ceremony. It's a procedure where a student is, for all intents and purposes, lobotomized. The goal is to surgically remove the trauma that defined their childhood, supposedly to set them free. But as we see with a character like Laura, this cure is so much worse than the disease. Now, this brings up a huge question that I'm sure you were thinking throughout the series. If things are so awful, why don't they just pack up and leave? Well, the show makes it pretty clear that the past has a powerful grip on them, and the reasons, well, they're complex and just really tragic. Let's start with Alex. Near the end, we see that dream sequence where he gets away with the baby. But it's just that, a dream. In reality, he stays put. So why? To put it simply, the town just had its hooks in him way too deep. Tall Pines was a place that covered things up. And let's be honest, Alex had done some very bad things there. He knew his violent past would follow him, no matter where he went. And then, just on a practical level, Laura waking up at that exact moment, it made a physical escape completely impossible. He was 100% trapped. And what about Laya? I mean, after she and Abby actually escape, she makes the heartbreaking choice to go back. What could possibly drive her to return to that cult? Leia's story is just so tragic. She was completely consumed by guilt over her sister's death, always afraid she was somehow responsible. On top of that, her own mother made her feel second best, which alienated her completely. So in Tall Pines, she found the one thing she never had at home, a real sense of belonging. The community's shared trauma bonding gave her comfort and acceptance, making that place feel more like home than her actual family ever did. And this all leads us to one of the show's most chilling themes, the idea that this horrible cycle is just destined to repeat itself. As one leader falls, another one just arises to take her place. So this is where we see this really creepy parallel between Evelyn and Laura, right? Evelyn created this family to supposedly heal trauma. But by the end, Laura, without even trying, becomes the new focal point for that exact same family. As Evelyn is dying, you see the town's residents literally turn to Laura, and she just unknowingly steps right into that position of power. She's become the new cult leader, whether she wants to be or not. Okay, so the show is absolutely packed with symbolism. But did it all work? Let's take a look at a really key symbol, and then we can touch on some of the critiques that were aimed at the series. Toads! You saw them, right? They are everywhere in this show, and they carry a ton of symbolic weight. They represent transformation, kind of like the new versions of students after their graduation. They also literally leap between two worlds, land and water, which mirrors the leap procedure the students go through. And for Laura especially, they become this haunting, constant reminder of the trauma that she just can't escape. So, did the show stick the landing? Well, critics were pretty divided. A lot of people praised the fantastic performances and the super interesting premise, but others felt like the big reveals were kinda underwhelming. The series was even criticized for trying to be too clever for its own good, and that it ultimately lacked the narrative punch it was building towards.
So, when you put all these pieces together, the cult, the characters, the cycles, what is the show's final haunting message about trauma?
The show's ultimate message seems to be that trauma is this profoundly powerful force that really shapes who we become. And because it's so powerful, it can be manipulated. It can be used as leverage, as a weapon to control people, which is exactly what Evelyn did. And, as we see with Laura, that weapon can be passed, almost seamlessly, to a whole new generation. So, in the end, the series leaves us with this deeply unsettling question. It shows us a cycle of trauma being passed from one leader to the next, from one generation to another. And it just leaves us to wonder, is this the cycle that we as humans are simply destined to repeat?